The Galactic High Council floated in silence above a dying blue star. The star was old. Its light was weak, its surface cracked and burned in slow waves. The council station circled it like a crown, massive and ancient. Its walls were built from metals no longer found in the galaxy. Inside, the largest meeting chamber ever created was filled. Hundreds of alien species were present. Some were tall and armored, with glowing eyes and heavy breathing machines. Others were small and thin, floating in the air on invisible fields. Some looked like stone, some like smoke. Some had lived longer than most stars. They were old. They were powerful. They were confident. This council had ruled the galaxy for longer than history remembered. Wars had ended here. Civilizations had been erased here. Borders had been drawn with a single vote. Today's meeting was supposed to be routine. One item remained on the agenda: humanity. A large holographic display appeared in the center of the chamber. A simple star map formed, highlighting a small region of space near the edge of known territory. Human-controlled systems. A council speaker began to talk in a calm, bored voice. Humanity has once again failed to follow trade compliance, the speaker said. Human patrols resisted border inspections. Human colonies continued to expand without approval. Some council members made sounds of amusement. Others barely looked up. Humans were not considered important. Another voice joined in. Humans are slow to act, it said. They argue among themselves. They hesitate. They react too late. A tall, insect-like commander spoke next. They are too emotional, he said. They respond with anger instead of logic, fear instead of strategy. A third voice followed, cold and sharp. Weak in space warfare. Their fleets are outdated. Their tactics predictable. A pause. Then someone laughed. Easy to control, another added. The chamber filled with low sounds of agreement. The display changed. Images appeared. Human trade ships stopped and searched. Human trade ships stopped and searched. Human border stations surrounded by foreign patrols. Human colonies cut off from supply routes. For decades, humanity had endured. Trade limits were placed on them. For security, border attacks were labeled accidents. Public humiliation followed every council session involving humans. Human losses were never discussed openly. They were called acceptable. The council believed humans were afraid. A council elder spoke, his voice slow and heavy. Humanity has been patient for a very long time, he said, but patience is often confusion or weakness. Several heads turned toward him. It is time to end this uncertainty, the elder continued. We cannot allow unstable species freedom near core space. The proposal appeared on the display. Permanent restriction of human space. No explanation. No negotiation. One by one, council members voted. Green lights filled the chamber. The decision passed. Immediately, orders were sent across the galaxy. Human colonies near the border were seized. Civilian ships were stopped and held. Supply convoys were turned away. Human ambassadors requested emergency talks. Their messages were ignored. Hours later, the human delegation finally stood in the chamber. They were fewer than the others. They wore no armor. They carried no weapons. Their faces were calm. This made some council members uncomfortable. A council officer gestured impatiently. You may speak, he said. The human representative stepped forward. He did not raise his voice. He did not shout. He did not threaten. He said only one sentence. We have endured enough. This will be our final patience. The chamber went silent for a moment, then laughter spread. Not loud, not cruel, confident. A warlord leaned back in his seat. Final patience? He mocked. You have no fleets to threaten us. Another voice followed. No ancient weapons. No hidden power. A third laughed softly. Humans always speak like this before they retreat. The human delegation did not respond. They turned and left. No threats were sent. No weapons were shown. No warnings followed. The council dismissed the matter. The meeting ended. The galaxy moved on. But far away, inside human space, something began to change. Deep beneath quiet planets, old doors opened. In forgotten shipyards, lights turned on for the first time in centuries. Ancient systems, buried under laws and silence, awakened. Machines that had never failed a test came online. No alarms rang. No broadcasts were made. Only silent signals passed between stars. Systems that were never meant to be used again were now awake. And humanity did not speak another word. The galaxy expected a reaction. After the council's decision, most empires prepared for noise. They waited for angry speeches. They waited for protests. They waited for desperate human threats that could be ignored and mocked. But nothing came. Human space stayed quiet. No fleets gathered near the borders. No emergency broadcasts appeared. No calls for allies echoed across the stars. Days passed, then weeks. The council grew comfortable. Alien patrols moved deeper into restricted human zones. They inspected stations. They seized cargo. They shut down human communications for safety. Human civilians were stopped and questioned. Some were arrested. Still, humanity did nothing. A young alien officer spoke during a minor council briefing. Perhaps the humans are planning something, he suggested carefully. The room went still. An older commander turned slowly. Planning, he repeated. They cannot even agree among themselves. Planning requires unity. Others nodded. Another council member added, if humans were dangerous, we would already see signs. The discussion ended there. Across the galaxy, confidence returned. Border commanders grew bold. Small alien fleets began testing human defenses. They crossed lines that were once respected. Human stations did not fire. Human patrol ships pulled back. This silence confused some. It amused others. One warlord broadcast a message near a human colony, laughing as his fleet blocked supply routes. Look at them, he said. They retreat instead of fight. This is fear. His words spread. Humans were mocked openly now. Old records that once warned about human unpredictability were removed from databases. Historians called them exaggerations. Meanwhile, inside human space, silence meant something very different. Hidden beneath quiet moons, ancient facilities worked without rest. Old human shipyards long sealed and forgotten were alive again. Workers did not celebrate. They did not talk. They followed procedures written centuries ago. Ships were repaired that had never seen real combat. Some designs shocked even human engineers. These were banned, one whispered. They were sealed for a reason, another replied. No one argued. Orders came from deep command networks that had not existed publicly for generations. Human leaders did not appear on screens. There were no speeches, only instructions. In deep space, far from borders, strange beacons began to glow. They were old human devices, placed long ago and ignored by the galaxy. Now they pulsed softly, watching, listening. Back at the Galactic High Council, reports began to arrive. A small alien patrol had failed to return from a routine inspection. This happens, a commander said. Mechanical failure. Another report followed. A second patrol vanished near the same region. No distress call, no wreckage. A third report arrived days later. A cargo fleet went missing after crossing human-controlled space. This time, the room felt different. An intelligence officer spoke carefully. There is a pattern. The council leader frowned. Humans have no weapons capable of hiding battles, he said. If they attacked, we would know. Scouts were sent. Advanced drones entered the area. They returned with clean data. Too clean. Space looked untouched. No explosions, no debris, no energy traces. It was as if nothing had ever been there. Some council members shifted uncomfortably. An old archivist requested permission to access sealed files. Denied, the leader said quickly. Old fears should stay buried. But the archivist had already seen something. A forgotten human phrase appeared in ancient records. It was not a threat, not a boast, just a warning. Patience is not peace. The archivist tried to speak. He was interrupted. We will not be frightened by words, a warlord snapped. Border pressure increased. Alien fleets now openly blocked human worlds. A civilian evacuation ship was seized. Its passengers were held. Human command sent a single message requesting release. The request was ignored. Then, something strange happened. The ship vanished. No explosion, no jump signature. One moment it was there. The next, it was gone. Alien sensors showed nothing. The prisoners were never found. The council called it impossible. But quiet fear began to spread. Captains whispered among themselves. Scouts hesitated before entering human space. Still, the council refused to act. They had pushed too far to stop now. Humanity remained silent. No explanation was given. No demands were made. But across alien systems, something changed. Navigation errors increased near human borders. Long-range sensors returned empty readings where ships should be. Communication delays appeared. Seconds became minutes. Minutes became silence. And then, a small ancient human signal appeared on an unsecured channel. It was not loud, it did not repeat often, it carried no emotion. Just 4 words, translated into every known language. We warned you. The galaxy did not yet understand, but fear had begun. The first fleet was not supposed to disappear. It was a strong fleet. Modern, well-armed. Protected by layers of shields and escort ships, its mission was simple: enter restricted human space, demonstrate authority, return. The fleet commander was confident. Humans had done nothing for weeks. No resistance, no threats, no movement. The fleet crossed the border. Sensors worked perfectly. Stars were clear. Space was calm. Human systems appeared quiet and weak. The commander smiled. Proceed, he ordered. Minutes passed. Then the fleet stopped responding. At first, command thought it was a delay. Then the signal went silent. No distress call, no warning, no sign of battle. The Galactic Council received the report. A junior officer spoke nervously. Fleet designation K-47 is not responding. The council leader frowned. Signal interference, he asked. Unlikely, the officer replied. All systems were stable. The council waited. Nothing returned. An investigation was ordered. A second fleet was sent. Smaller, faster, equipped with advanced scanners. They followed the exact path of the first fleet. Every movement was recorded, every signal monitored. The fleet crossed the same border. Sensors showed nothing unusual. Then silence. One by one, their signals vanished. Not cut, not destroyed, gone. The chamber fell quiet. This had never happened before. A third fleet was prepared. This time, the council sent observers. Drones. Artificial minds. Autonomous weapons. Nothing human could touch them. They entered human space. Their cameras streamed live to the council chamber. Alien leaders watched closely. Stars drifted past. Human stations appeared in the distance, inactive. Dark. Then the feed began to shake, not violently, softly. As if space itself had moved. The stars shifted. The drones tried to correct their position. Navigation failed. The feed froze, then turned black. The room erupted. That is impossible, someone shouted. Humans do not control space itself. Emergency scans were launched. Long-range sensors searched the region. The results made no sense. Space showed no damage, no energy spikes, no debris. No sign that fleets had ever existed there. It was clean, too clean. An old military analyst spoke quietly. In every battle, he said, something is left behind. No one argued. Fear spread slowly, like a shadow. Trade ships near human borders began rerouting. Civilian traffic avoided the region. But the council refused to admit fear. Instead, they blamed errors. Faulty sensors. Human tricks. Unknown phenomena. They ordered a single ship to investigate. One ship. Fast, light, unimportant. The ship crossed the border. Everyone watched. Seconds passed. The ship slowed. Its pilot spoke calmly. All systems normal, he said. Then his voice changed. Something feels wrong. Static followed, then silence. The ship vanished. No explosion, no jump. Gone. The council chamber was silent. For the first time in centuries, no one spoke. An ancient species representative finally broke the quiet. This is not war, he said. This is removal. The word echoed. Removal. Not destruction, not battle. Erasure. Panic began behind closed doors. Some empires ordered their fleets to retreat. Others doubled their forces, believing strength was the answer. But the borders of human space did not move. Humans did not advance. They did not pursue. They did not speak. Then something happened that changed everything. A deep space listening post detected a signal. Old, human. Using obsolete frequencies no one monitored anymore. It was weak, barely noticeable, but it repeated. The signal contained no images, no voice, only text, one sentence, sent once, then never again. We warned you. The council tried to respond. No reply came. Attempts to locate the source failed. It was everywhere, and nowhere. Alien commanders began to panic. Supply fleets refused to move. Scouts requested reassignment. Veteran captains, who had survived hundreds of wars, asked to be removed from duty. Stories spread. Whispers. Human space was no longer empty. It was watching. Inside human territory, ships finally moved. Not fleets, not armadas. Single vessels. Small. Silent. They did not attack worlds. They did not fire weapons. They appeared briefly, then vanished. Alien sensors could not track them. One alien commander finally sent a message directly to human command. "We demand explanation." The reply came instantly. 4 simple words. "This is restraint." The message terrified them more than any threat, because restraint meant choice, and choice meant humanity was deciding how far to go. The galaxy finally understood something was wrong, not slowly, not gently, but all at once. Across dozens of empires, fleets stopped moving. Admirals delayed orders. Patrol ships refused to cross invisible lines near human space. Humanity still did not attack. That frightened them the most. Then the silence broke. Not with explosions, not with implosions, but with movement. Human ships appeared, not at borders, not in large groups. They appeared inside key regions of alien space, one ship at a time. They were small, clean, silent, no bright weapons, no glowing shields, no markings of rank or empire. Alien sensors struggled to lock on. The ships did not jam signals. They did not hide. They simply existed and then vanished. An alien logistics world lost power for exactly 6 minutes. When systems came back online, nothing was damaged, except the command network. Every military order stored there was gone. An empire's main shipyard found its docking controls disabled. Ships floated safely in place. No crashes, no fires, just silence. Panic spread. What do they want? Leaders demanded. No one knew. Then the first human fleet arrived. It did not arrive near a capital. It arrived near a heavily armed alien military base, one that had led raids into human space for years. The base activated every weapon. Nothing fired. Human ships moved calmly through the defense grid. Weapons failed to lock. Targeting systems returned errors. Commanders shouted orders. Nothing responded. A human vessel moved closer. A single message appeared on every screen in the base. "This is not war." The base commander froze. "What do you mean?" he demanded. The reply came instantly. "This is correction." The human ships did not fire. Instead, they disabled. Every weapon on the base powered down. Every communication array went silent. The base was left intact. Useless. Across the galaxy, similar events happened. Alien fleets lost navigation. Supply lines vanished from maps. Defense systems shut down at the same moment. Human fleets never destroyed cities. They never bombed planets. They removed control. The council tried to respond. Emergency meetings were called. Voices shouted. Accusations flew. "This is impossible," one leader yelled. "No species can do this without massive energy use." An ancient observer spoke calmly. "They are not using power," he said. "They are using understanding." Old records were unlocked without permission. Sealed files opened themselves. The truth began to surface. Long ago, humanity had studied the galaxy. Not just technology, behavior, patterns, weaknesses that came from overconfidence. Humans learned how empires communicated, how they trusted automation too much, how they assumed no one would ever reach inside their systems. Humanity had not built bigger guns. They built better answers. A young council member whispered, "Why didn't they use this before?" No one answered, because the answer was uncomfortable. They had chosen not to. Human fleets finally spoke publicly. A single broadcast reached every major system. A human commander appeared. No armor, no anger, just calm eyes. "We did not seek control," he said. "We did not seek fear." The message continued. "You restricted our space. You seized our people. You ignored our words." Silence filled the channel. "We waited," the commander said, "because we hoped you would stop." The broadcast ended. That same hour, 3 alien empires lost full military control. No shots fired. No soldiers killed. Their fleets were parked, powerless. The galaxy began to break. Alliances collapsed. Smaller species demanded protection from the council. The council had none to give. Old leaders finally admitted the truth. Humans were not weak. They were restrained. A hidden human command meeting took place far from alien eyes. Generals reviewed reports. Targets neutralized. Civilians unharmed. Collateral damage, 0. A human officer asked quietly, "Should we escalate?" The lead commander shook his head. "No," he said. "They still don't understand." Meanwhile, alien leaders begged for negotiation. They sent apologies. They promised reforms. Humanity did not respond. Instead, another human fleet appeared. This one stopped above the Galactic High Council station. No weapons deployed. No threats made. The station's systems shut down. Lights dimmed. Gravity flickered. Every being inside felt it. Humanity had reached the center of power, and still, they did not attack. A final message appeared inside the council chamber. "This is restraint." Fear filled the room, because restraint meant choice, and choice meant that what the galaxy was seeing was not humanity's full strength, not even close. The galaxy was no longer confident, it was afraid. Not because planets were burning, not because stars were exploding, but because nothing was. Humanity had shown restraint with perfect control, and that terrified every ruler more than open war ever could. Across alien space, empires stopped functioning. Fleets sat still, powerless but intact. Weapons refused to activate. Command codes no longer worked. No alarms screamed. No cities fell. Everything was calm. Too calm. Inside the Galactic High Council station, emergency lights flickered softly. Gravity held, but barely. The chamber that once echoed with laughter was now silent. No one mocked humanity anymore. Some council members whispered prayers in ancient languages. Others stared at the floor. The oldest species present finally spoke. They were called the Keepers of Memory. They had not spoken in centuries. Their voice was slow, heavy, and full of regret. "We warned you," the Keeper said quietly. Long before this council existed, every head turned. The Keeper continued. Humanity was never classified as weak. They were classified as contained. The room stirred. "What does that mean?" someone demanded. The Keeper raised a trembling limb. "It means the galaxy once learned a lesson," he said, "and then forgot it. Ancient records were unlocked fully, not edited, not censored. The truth appeared on every screen. Long ago, humanity had fought a war, not against aliens, against extinction. They had faced enemies stronger, faster, more advanced. Humanity survived not by force, but by adaptation. They learned faster than anyone else. They changed faster. They improved faster. And when they finally won, they scared themselves. Human leaders realized that if humanity ever fought without restraint, nothing would stop them. So they made a decision. They limited themselves. They buried their most powerful systems. They agreed to patience." The Keeper's voice shook. "Humanity asked the galaxy for space," he said. "Not because they were afraid of us, but because they were afraid of themselves." The council was silent. All those years of pressure, humiliation, control, humans had endured it all, not because they were powerless, but because they were responsible. Outside the council, alien leaders panicked. Old alliances collapsed. Strong empires begged weaker ones for shelter. Civilian populations demanded answers. "Why didn't you listen?" they asked. No one had an answer. A message finally arrived from human command. Not a threat, not an apology, a statement. "We will restore control to all systems that release human civilians and withdraw from human space." The message was clear: obey or remain powerless. Most empires complied immediately. Borders opened. Prison ships released human civilians. Seized colonies were returned. As each order was completed, control returned. Weapons powered up. Navigation restored. Human fleets withdrew without ceremony. But some empires refused. They were proud, angry. They believed surrender would destroy their image. One such empire tried to attack a human ship. Their weapons did not fire. Their reactors shut down instead. The human ship did not respond. It simply left. That empire collapsed within days, not from attack, from internal chaos. The galaxy learned something painful. Humanity did not need to destroy you. They only needed to stop protecting you from your own systems. Inside human space, leaders met quietly. No celebrations took place. No victory speeches were made. A human admiral looked at the star map. "So many chances," he said softly. Another replied, "They chose not to listen." A third asked the question everyone felt. "Should we end it? Permanently?" Silence followed. Then the lead commander spoke. No, he said. They needed a lesson, not extinction. Human fleets continued to withdraw, one by one, system by system. Control returned to the galaxy. But fear remained, because now everyone knew the truth. Humanity had never fought at full strength. They had never unleashed everything. They had only corrected behavior. The Galactic High Council sent one final request. Not a demand, a request. They asked for peace, for reform, for forgiveness. Humanity responded with a single broadcast, sent everywhere. We do not seek to rule, we do not seek fear, but we will not endure injustice forever. The message ended. No signature, no signature, no symbol, just silence. The galaxy began to rebuild, but nothing felt the same. Every star map now marked human space differently, not as weak, not as dangerous, but as something far worse to provoke, patient. And everyone knew, patience had limits. The galaxy slowly returned to motion, trade routes reopened, fleets began to move again, communication networks stabilized, but nothing felt normal. Every commander hesitated before giving an order. Every council meeting carried a quiet fear. Every map showed human space marked differently, not as an enemy, not as an ally, as a boundary. Inside the Galactic High Council station, the chamber was full again, but the mood was nothing like before. No laughter echoed now, no mocking voices filled the air. The same species sat in the same seats, but they felt smaller, older, wiser. A council leader stood and spoke carefully. The crisis has ended, he said. Human fleets have withdrawn. Control has been restored. No one celebrated, because everyone knew the truth. The crisis had not ended. It had only been paused. An ambassador from a small species asked the question everyone feared. What if they return? Silence followed. The oldest keeper of memory answered. They will not return, he said, unless we give them a reason. Across human space, fleets moved back into deep storage. Ancient shipyards powered down. Old systems returned to silence. But they were no longer hidden. They were remembered. Human leaders met one final time. The atmosphere was calm, but heavy. A human general looked at the galaxy-wide report. No retaliation attacks, he said. No revenge strikes. Another nodded. They learned, she replied. At least, most of them. One officer asked quietly, what about the council? The lead commander looked at the star map. They are afraid, he said. That is enough. Before the final human fleets vanished from public view, humanity sent one last message. It was not sent to the council alone. It was sent to every known species, every station, every world, every ship. The message was simple. No dramatic music, no threats, just words. We are not your enemy, but we are not your tool. The message continued. We endured because we chose restraint. We remained silent because we believed in cooperation. A pause followed. Then the final lines appeared. Do not mistake patience for weakness, and do not ask us to prove it again. The message ended. Human systems went dark. Borders stabilized. Human space returned to quiet. But this time, the silence was respected. Years passed. New civilizations rose. Old empires reformed. Galactic laws were rewritten. One rule was added to every official charter. Never written loudly, never announced proudly, but always obeyed. Do not provoke humanity. Young species asked why. Veterans answered softly, because once the galaxy pushed them too far. Stories spread, not myths, warnings, about fleets that vanished without fire, about power that did not destroy but controlled, about a species that could end everything, and chose not to. In hidden archives, recordings of the crisis were sealed, but not erased. Every leader was required to watch them before taking office. To remember, to fear, and to respect. Far away, near the edge of known space, a single human exploration ship drifted calmly through the stars. Its mission was simple. Observe, learn, wait. The captain looked out at the galaxy. We're quiet again, an officer said. The captain nodded. Yes, he replied, because quiet is better than regret. The ship continued forward. Humanity did not rule the galaxy. They did not conquer it. They guarded it from itself. And no species ever forgot the moment they learned the truth. Human patience was not endless. And when it ended, the galaxy did not burn. It bowed.